You're alone. The room is silent, and somehow the back of your neck already knows someone is looking at you. You turn around, nothing. Empty. But the feeling doesn't leave, because some older part of you is completely certain there are eyes on you, right now. Here's the disturbing part. There might be, just not the kind you think. That watcher isn't a ghost and it isn't a stalker. It's a glitch in your survival hardware, and your brain is building it on purpose to keep you alive. Start with the radar. You have a system in your brain whose entire job is to detect eyes, to work out in a fraction of a second whether something is looking at you. It's fast, it's automatic, and it runs whether you want it to or not. In a crowd, it's how you feel a stare from across the room before you've even found the face. It is one of the most sensitive instruments your brain owns. And here's the flaw scientists found. When that radar isn't sure, when the light is low, when it can't quite tell where something is pointed, it doesn't shrug and move on. It defaults to the worst answer. It assumes the eyes are aimed straight at you. Give your brain a coin flip, and it calls "you're being watched" every single time. In the dark, that coin is always flipping. Why would evolution build something this paranoid? Because paranoia kept your ancestors breathing. Picture a face half hidden in tall grass. If your brain guesses "not looking at me" and it's wrong, you're lunch. If it guesses "looking at me" and it's wrong, you flinch at nothing and feel a little stupid. One mistake ends your bloodline. The other wastes 3 seconds. So your brain got tuned over millions of years to make the cheap mistake on purpose. Scientists call it the smoke-detector principle. A smoke alarm that only went off for real fires would let you burn to death the one time it was wrong, so we build them to shriek at burnt toast. 100 false alarms are worth catching the one real fire. Your threat system is that smoke alarm, screwed into your skull, and it would rather scream at nothing 1,000 times than stay silent once when it counts. The part running that alarm is a little almond of tissue called the amygdala, and it does not wait for permission. It gets a blurry, low-resolution copy of whatever your eyes see, and if anything in it even resembles a threat, it fires, flooding your body with fear before the thinking part of your brain has any idea what's happening. That cold jolt up your spine, that's the alarm going off first. Your conscious mind only gets to ask, "What was that?" afterward, once your heart is already slamming. Now add the dark. With barely any light, your brain is getting almost no real information, but it refuses to just show you a blank. It hates uncertainty. So it fills the empty space with its best guess, and its best guess is built from the thing it is most obsessed with: faces. This is why you see a face in a coat thrown over a chair, in the folds of a curtain, in the wood grain of a door at 3 in the morning. Your face detector is so aggressively tuned that it finds faces in pure noise, and in a dark corner, the face it draws for you is almost always the same one: 2 eyes, staring right back. But none of that is the truly unsettling part, because so far your brain is only inventing a watcher out there in the room. Sometimes it invents one much closer than that. There's a sensation people describe in almost the same words across every culture on Earth: the feeling of a presence. Not a sight, not a sound, just the total, bone-deep certainty that someone is standing right behind you. Climbers get it near the summit. People get it in deep isolation, in grief, in the seconds after waking. For a long time, nobody could explain it. Then scientists built a machine that creates it on command. Here's what they did. They had people operate a robot with one hand, and behind their back, a second robot copied the movement, touching them on the back exactly as they moved. In sync, it just feels like you're touching your own back, but then they added a tiny delay, half a second of lag between the hand moving and the touch landing, and that little glitch was enough. Perfectly healthy people suddenly felt it. Someone was standing behind them. Some got so frightened they asked to stop. Scientists built a ghost out of a timing error. Because that is all a presence really is. Your brain keeps a live map of where your body ends and the world begins, stitched together every second out of your senses. And when those signals fall out of sync, in the dark, in silence, when you're exhausted and no clear data is coming in, the map tears. Part of you gets filed as not you,
as someone else. There's even a single spot in your brain where a few regions meet, and when doctors touched it with a faint electrical current, a patient instantly felt a shadowy figure crouching behind her, copying her every move. They could switch the watcher on and off like a light. This is the thing that walks with people who should have died. When Ernest Shackleton crossed an impossible stretch of frozen Antarctica, he and his two companions were all quietly convinced there was a fourth man marching beside them. Climbers stranded high in the death zone described the same visitor, a calm presence at their shoulder, telling them to keep moving, keep breathing, that vanishes the second they're safe. Survivors have followed that invisible guide down off the mountain alive. It feels like an angel. It's your brain, pushed to the very edge of what a body can take, spinning up a second person to keep the first one going. And it doesn't only happen on a mountain or in the dark. Ask anyone who has lost someone they lived with. For weeks afterward, they feel them in the house, a step in the hallway, a weight on the edge of the bed, a figure standing in the doorway. It's so common that most grieving people go through it, and it isn't madness. Your brain spent years drawing another body into that space, and it does not redraw the map overnight, so it keeps sketching them in, a presence with no one there. So the thing in the empty room with you, a lot of the time, it is you, or someone your brain refuses to stop drawing, your own signals bounced back and mislabeled as a stranger. And this is where it becomes a trap. Think about the exact situation it sets off. Alone, silent, dark, still. That is not a random combination. That is the precise environment your ancient brain reads as maximum danger, the quiet clearing where the predator waits, the mouth of the cave after the fire dies. So the emptier and stiller the room gets, the harder your survival system works to fill it, because to a brain built on the savannah, nothing here has never once been good news. The silence doesn't calm you down, it turns the alarm up. And the more scared you get, the harder your brain hunts for the thing you're scared of, which it will happily build for you. Your fear becomes the proof. The good news is you can break the loop, and it's almost stupidly simple. Give the radar real data. Turn on a light, put on a sound, stand up and walk through the space. The instant your senses have something solid to lock onto, the map restitches, the guessing stops, and the watcher evaporates, because it was never information, it was the absence of it. You can also just name it out loud. That's the smoke detector. Saying it hands the moment back to the thinking part of your brain, the one part that can tell the alarm to stand down. But here's the thought to leave you with tonight when the house goes quiet and your skin starts to crawl. The watcher in the empty room isn't proof that something is there, it's proof of the opposite. Your brain would genuinely rather invent a monster than sit with an empty room, because in the entire history of your species, being wrong about a threat cost you a heartbeat, and being right about it kept you alive. It never learned to trust the emptiness, so it fills it every single time. You're not afraid of the dark, you're afraid of what your own brain keeps putting in it, and it will never ever leave that corner empty. If your neck just prickled, good, that's the system working. Subscribe and I'll keep explaining the things your body does that nobody warned you about. And tell me down in the comments, where in your house do you feel it the most?